If you're in perimenopause and you keep trying to become that disciplined woman with the perfect morning routine, but every time that alarm goes off, you just want to hide under the covers, well, this is for you. I want to tell you how perimenopause completely rewired my relationship with discipline. And it wasn't by pushing harder, but by giving myself radical grace. And how that is what turned me into the woman I always wanted to be. For most of my life, mornings felt like a tug of war between two parts of myself. One part wanted to feel cozy and coddled and safe under the covers. The other part wanted to feel productive and purposeful and powerful. They felt like total opposites. And every morning it felt like I had to pick just one, cozy and content, or disciplined and on it. And I felt like I was choosing the trajectory of my entire life in that moment, not just deciding if I wanted to get up and out of bed. My first cup of coffee was the only moment that actually felt like possibility. It was like drinking liquid hope. I'd sit there with my mug and my desires were right at the surface. My daydreams felt like they could actually come true. And for a few minutes, that opportunity felt so real. And then I'd have to get ready for work. I'd leave that mug in the sink, and it felt like I left my true self there too. I would walk out the door trying to carry all of those feelings with me, but the day would slowly just continually replace them. So I did what we're all told to do. I tried to get more disciplined. I read the books, I set early alarms, I went to bed earlier, I put a dream journal by the bed, I even bought a coffee maker that would brew on a timer. So I was hoping the smell would lure me out of bed like some kind of a self-help siren song. And I designed the perfect morning routine. Gratitude journaling, 3 full pages of morning pages. Yoga to stay flexible. Weights, because, perimenopause, muscle loss. A healthy, filling breakfast. I told myself, this is it. This is what's going to turn everything around. And at night, it all did feel possible. I often went to bed absolutely buzzing with positivity. I could feel the new me coming. I was sure that tomorrow I would wake up and would all be easy to do. And then the morning would come. The alarm would go off and my whole body would say, no. And I'd roll over, I'd reset the alarm, dig back into the covers, and then the negative self-talk would play. Why can't you just get up? Why do you always choose comfort over anything else? Don't you want your dreams to come true? Everyone else seems to manage this. What's wrong with you? All of that right there at the surface. And discipline just made me feel more broken, like I was losing, failing. In perimenopause, when it arrived, it just cranked all of this up to 11. I'd wake up before the alarm with a hot flash and random non sequitur anxiety. My body would be alert, my mind racing, and yet the need to feel safe and still under the covers was even more overwhelming. I'd have to talk myself out of resetting the alarm so I could just sleep more. And I'd lie there wrapped in my comforter, feeling this weird doom around me with no logical source. And the more I told myself I should get up, the more frozen I actually became. Every book was saying you just need more discipline. And I started to realize that the way I'd been taught to think about discipline was not built for a perimenopausal nervous system. So the turning point was actually very small. One day I decided no more elaborate morning experiments, no more perfect hour-long routine that I could never actually maintain. Instead, I chose one thing that genuinely felt good to me. And that one thing was this. While I drank my coffee, I would scribble down some things I was grateful for. Not 3 pages, not a full journal spread, just 3 sentences, one for each gratitude of the moment. And then here's the fun part. I literally started patting myself on the back for it. Hand to shoulder, a physical pat. And I would say, good job. You did something for yourself this morning. That was it. I also gave myself full permission around those wake-up times. Some mornings I'd get up before the alarm. Some mornings I'd stay curled up in my comforter for as long as possible. Either way, I still got my coffee. I still wrote down those things I was grateful for, and I still patted myself on the back. There was no more tracking of streaks, no more obsessing over whether I got 8 hours of sleep, no more timelines for becoming a morning person. And that's when things really started to quietly change. Once I dropped the pressure to be perfect, mornings began shifting all on their own. Some days I still chose to stay in bed, and those mornings were delicious. I let myself smile into the pillow because I stopped making it mean I was lazy or behind. I took all that pressure away. It was just what my body wanted that day. I would have my coffee, and the jotting down of gratitudes would be a little quicker, but I still patted myself on the back and let myself feel good. Other days, I found myself naturally getting up before the alarm. It felt right. It felt positive. I wanted to do it. So I followed that impulse. And on those mornings, I would let myself linger over my gratitude journaling. Maybe I would add a couple of yoga poses, nothing fancy, no full sequences, just what felt good in the moment. I would move my journal aside and even write a little bit in my notebook for my novel. And each time I'd finish that, whatever it was, whatever I decided to do that day, I let it organically happen. I would always finish with patting myself on the back. I wasn't forcing discipline anymore. I was creating a version of discipline that was aligned with who I actually am in this season of my life. And it's still blossoming. Now I've become someone who I'll feel a cold brewing and I'll still want to get up and start my day because my morning feels nourishing, not punishing. It's all me time. And I've also become someone who, if I feel something heavier settling in, I can say, nope, today my work is to rest. And I call in sick and I take care of myself first and I don't feel guilty. Both of those, for me, are discipline. Because both are choices made from self-trust, not self-abandonment. Perimenopause is the reason that this transformation happened. All the knowledge I've collected over 52 years, every book, every failed routine, every hot flash and 3 a.m. wake up, got pressure cooked in this season and turned into wisdom. By stopping that constant self-abandonment, by refusing to bully myself and outsourcing my knowing and forcing myself into some rigid idea of discipline, what others were telling me what discipline was, I finally became the woman I was always trying so hard to become. The woman who trusts her own rhythm, has the inner knowing of when to push and when to soften. The woman who treats this season of perimenopause as a portal into my own crone power, not just a random punishment to get through or mute. And that's what I mean when I talk about a crone quest. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about finally trusting yourself and developing that deep inner knowing. I mean, that deep inner knowing that will become your guide, that helps you choose what is right for you. If this resonates, I want to leave you with one tiny ritual that you can try this week. I call it simply the morning pat on the back ritual. It's no matter what time you actually wake up, you can pour your coffee or tea or whatever morning elixir helps you. Write down 3 honest things you're grateful for, and they could be tiny. My cat, my bed, that I made it through yesterday. And then smile and physically pat yourself on the back and say, good job. You showed up for yourself today. It's all about that internal validation. And that's it. There's no 5 a.m. alarm, no 10-step routine, just a moment spent in intention, in real gratitude, self-acknowledgement, internal validation. Do that for a week and notice how your mornings and your relationship with yourself begin to soften. If this landed for you, You should save this video so you can come back to the ritual whenever you need it. And if you're ready for a clearer, more playful map of this entire season of perimenopause, I have a free Fool's Bag Field Guide to Perimenopause. It's a visual Crone Quest. It's a map that helps you see this time as a rite of passage, not just random chaos. And you can grab it through the link below or in the description of this video. Just remember, you're not broken. You're not something to be fixed. You're actually in a portal. We can do this. You're not alone. Let's do it together.